warm welcome to ET Education Leadership Studio in collaboration with Google Cloud, where we will explore the future of learning through technology. Now, today's discussion, the EdTech Advantage, Building the Future of Education with Google Cloud, highlights how cloud-powered solutions are in fact revolutionizing education, enabling AI-driven learning, seamless collaboration, and enhanced accessibility. With the global edtech market set to reach $404 billion by 2025, cloud tech is key to scaling digital education, ensuring security and driving innovation. This session brings together top educators and industry leaders to discuss how institutions can leverage Google Cloud to build flexible, inclusive, and future-ready learning ecosystems. So let's dive into the possibilities and the challenges shaping the next era of education. Joining us today are a very esteemed panel of experts, Ujjwal Singh, founding CEO, Infinity Learn, and Vaibhav Kumar Srivastava, India Head, EdTechs Education Google Cloud. Gentlemen, a very warm welcome to ET Studios. Thank you so much for being here. Such a pleasure to have you both.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So, we're here to discuss a really important, very exciting topic, which is the future of education. Right? We'll really focus on how AI, emerging technology, and of course, Google Cloud is truly impacting this process and how we can see the evolution of the education space taking shape in India and perhaps on a global scale. So just to kickstart, to understand from each of you, Ujjwal, maybe you can kickstart us by understanding what role does Gen AI play today? Of course, no conversation on the future of education can be had without talking about Gen AI. So what direct impact are you seeing on the education system, and how is it enhancing the offerings today?
Great, thank you so much for kicking this off. 2023, when April-May timeframe, when Gen AI got launched in various parts of the world for education, and all of us were a little shocked to see that education being a front runner of implementation of Gen AI. I think there are 2 or 3 major changes which we are seeing overall. One is the support to the learner when nobody is around him.
Yes.
Yeah. And look at the context in India. Parents in grade 9, 10th, 11th, 12th may not be able to help children on a day-to-day basis. Either they're working
Absolutely.
or the mother is trying to really cope up with the kind of education they go through. We are largely a test prep company. We see a far more challenging task. So one is support to the learner when nobody is around, the teacher is not around. I think that's one of the biggest thing. But what more is that 11 o'clock in the night, and I am struggling to solve a question. Who is helping me? Who is supporting me?
Yeah.
I think that's the most critical thing which Gen AI helped to start off with.
Sure.
But as slowly and gradually we started moving forward, we see that the role of Gen AI is moving away from just an support to a mentor.
Yes. Wow.
And the mentor who is not trying to replace the teacher, but actually adding value to say that this particular student is struggling,
Yes.
He's in this particular point.
Yes, very exciting. And to add to that, of course, Google Cloud surely is making a huge impact here as well. Right? Can you help us understand a little bit about the delivery mechanism that Google Cloud offers here in India? What impact is it having on a national scale?
So we are at the helm of, changing the way the education is delivered in India and globally for that matter, right? What we are trying to see is that how can I give a personalized learning experience for a student? Every student has its own needs, which means somebody might be weak in some subject, somebody might be needing help in some other topic within the subject. How can we pinpoint the student to the weaker areas which they need to improve on? So bringing their at this thing, right? Faculty and teachers, can we help them create better lesson plans? Can we help them create automate assessments for that matter, or create question papers and automate that piece for them? For administrator, can I just make the whole decision making faster, give them data driven insights which can help them take decision faster, at the same time the right decisions that may do. So that's where the whole that's everything that we do is revolving around these 3 pillars, and we ensure that we work with EdTechs like Infinity Learn to get that to the helm, because we are a platform company. We create platforms for others to build on top of it, and we're glad to have partners like Infinity Learn who actually go and come and build on it and maybe solve the real last mile problems for the educators.
Absolutely wonderful collaboration here. We'll get to that in a moment, but before that, Ujjwal, so okay, we're of course talking about the positive impact that all this emerging technology has. However, surely there's many drawbacks. There's many challenges that students face, educators face, the entire gamut actually, the end-to-end solutions. What are some of the biggest challenges that you're seeing, and how is Infinity Learn helping to solve these issues?
So I think the three big challenges in the industry to implement Gen AI. One is accuracy. You can't teach anything wrong to a child. He's depending on you, and you have to ensure that he's happy with the answers which you're giving. Yes. So accuracy at 94-95% is also may not be very perfect at this point of time. So I think that's the first big concern, and that is why we took a lot of time. We partnered with Google, we joined hands with academia to say that how do you ensure that when we launch our AI tools, they are most accurate. I think the parents' concern in parallel is guardrails. Is that will this conversation, because you are now moving away from normal doubt solving to a mentorship, will this conversation go in the wrong direction? Can the child take this to some other place? Maybe a discussion on movie or anything else. And then, so you wanted to build a mentor who actually can understand that, no, I'm not taking you there. I'm an education mentor. So I'm going to only be mentoring you around the areas of strengths and weakness and tell you. Say, for instance, I keep telling about this example. I've been always very fascinated that this blood report. Okay. I said, for the pharma industry, it has changed the way doctors work, pharma industry works. When I keep thinking that when will we reach that stage that a child takes an examination, you get a report, and from that report, you exactly know where should I do more, where should I actually work harder. Otherwise, this is so vague to say that, oh, I got 78 out of 100, but how do I get 100 out of 100 or 95 out of 100? Yes. I think the second thing is that the AI mentor with guardrails can take you in that journey. And the third is that can the teacher teach better? With the help of AI, as a mentor available to the teacher, saying that in your class, among all the students, this is the only student who has done question number 7 right. Now, generally, you may not have appreciation for that, but now you have appreciation for somebody who is just not visible in a normal class. So 3 things: guardrails from parents' point of view, support and accuracy from student point of view, and great, analytics data available from a teacher point of view. These are the 3 concerns, and these are the 3 benefits in the same time.
Thanks for those examples. Really paints a vivid picture there. So gentlemen, this is for both of you in that case. Now that we understand so well the biggest drawbacks, very real industry specific challenges we're facing here, how does the collaboration between Google Cloud and Infinity Learn really address these challenges and ensure that you're providing the best quality learning tools for, again, students, teachers, and the institution at large? Would you like to start?
So maybe I can just take a cue from what Ujjwal mentioned, right? So how do you guardrail the content, right? Data is everywhere. The whole internet is full of data. Can the answer which a student is seeking for come from a limited source of information? That is the credible, genuine source. It can be through a teacher. It can be through a book. It can be through an authorized, accredited content, right? So that's where, so we guardrail the data which is fetched from that particular source and not coming from all over the internet. So that saves the clutter which should not be there for the student, right? On top of it, what Ujjwal mentioned, the 3 points, I think one of the things is transparency. Every tool today, you go and ask a question, you will get an answer. But not many tools will give you how the tool arrived at an answer, right? So getting to the thought process, the way we go and teach a child, we'll try to understand the conceptual level understanding than just the answer, right? Because the answer can be one of the 4 options, right? But if one of the 4 options is one of how the student has arrived, is where the crux lies. And that's where we go and focus on. So the models today can actually go through the step-by-step process on how they arrive to an answer, right? And that's exactly what we need to get to, because otherwise it's superficial knowledge. A student can ask a question, you get an answer, and we don't know whether the concepts are correct or not. And when we look at a long-term curriculum, for example, a JEE preparation point in time, right? If you leave a concept behind, then you will always be catching up in the future lessons, right? So it's important to get to the core, bring the best of understanding of that concept before we move to the next one, right? So these are the few challenges that we continue to navigate. It takes a lot of technological might to solve them, but we are making steady progress and making these models better and better.
Infinity Learn is a 3-year-old company. We are largely helping children to prepare for JEE and NEET. But we are backed by Sri Chaitanya Group, which is like a 40-year-old, amazing results and outcomes over the years. So we had a lot of data. We know where the child struggles, what kind of help you do to the learner, how he will move away from that particular milestone and keep meeting the goals. We were looking for a technology partner who can help take this data, because this is millions of data points of every learner taking every test, what choice of answer he has selected, is that right, wrong, why, millions of data points to put in a technology system so that you get the best out for the learner. Because what we intend that if a learner comes to us, he should learn faster. And to learn faster, we want to identify where is he struggling and give him the right input. And when we reached out to Google, that's the reason. We said, we understand education and we have millions of data points. We're looking for a technology partner who intends to take these data points and try to create the easiest learning path. I will say, maximum results with minimum efforts. Yeah, because that's the end objective of technology, helping the learner to learn faster. And that's what we discussed over the months and said, how do we achieve that for our learners? And that's the end outcome of this relationship, to say that Google is going to help us and started to help us in building a system which will be learner-led, personalized, because in all of this, if you see, we becoming intelligent is not the end objective. As a company, as an administration, we need to be intelligent, but our foremost objective is that learner becoming intelligent and getting what he wants to get in the shortest possible time.
Thank you for that. So on that note, Vaibhav, can you give us a sneak peek or an idea of some of the latest innovations that Google offers when it comes to AI, and how is this impacting creating this result, as Ujjwal so rightly said, just the shortest, simplest learning process for the end learner?
In a typical geographic like India, right, where vernacularity is the thing. So we are trying to right now create content and create solutions which can address at all strata of the students, right? Which means doesn't matter which part of the country the student is, which language he or she speaks, and what is the kind of consumption of education that they are being fed into. We want to just give them what they want with the minimal efforts for them to come and adopt a technology, right? And that's where we are getting towards. So the whole ecosystem is coming together and partnering to see if we can give the easiest way to consume content. And the same thing applies for the teacher, right? If a teacher wants to create a plan out of, in any language for that matter, we have our translate services which can be easily on a click of a button be used to create content in any language that they want, and also play around with the content in multiple form factors. For example, a text can be converted to an image can be converted to a video, and vice versa. So it doesn't matter which form factor, which way the content is available for a student to be consumed, they should get it in the best, easiest way possible. And that's where the whole ecosystem at the technology level at Google and partners like Infinity Learn come and bring this together.
Wonderful. Excellent. So, gentlemen, for both of you in that case, could you share some real examples of how AI is really driving EdTech, but also really impacting, as you rightly said, we have all these vernacular regions here in India. So the tier 2, the tier 3 cities, how are we seeing this impact the various regions in India?
Okay, so the voice has a big role to play.
Yes.
What AI has done is that you speak in any which way, first it understands and starts answering you.
Exciting times to look
Yeah.
forward to. Vaibhav, I'd love to get your input and truly to understand as well how it's impacting tier 2, tier 3 towns, any specific solutions as well that you're creating to really enable this kind of equality really in the quality of education across the country.
Yeah. So see, tier 2, tier 3 is where the most of the talent is coming across right now, right? It's no more saturated to a metro or the prime tier 1 or a cosmopolitan city for that matter. We have seen this, and a lot of reports say that, a lot of talent exists in those cities. It's just that they need a nurturing and they need right tools to, get the talent out and be employable. So employability and getting them ready and bridging the industry academia gap is one of the things that is becoming a priority from a tier 2, tier 3 city point, because we still understand that metros still have the best of the infras, at least within the country, to cater to their needs. So when you go and look at the income levels for a parent, or maybe look at the kind of education or the educator the student is dealing with in those cities, there is a gap, right? And we need to bridge that gap. When you bring technology into the piece, you also realize that you need to have technological devices to cater that need, right? So can a low-cost mobile phone deliver the same kind of efficiency to run an application the way maybe a bigger brand or an expensive device? It can be a mobile, it can be maybe a tablet device, it can be a computer for that matter, right? Can we go and look at to those devices which are consumed by lower or middle income groups and deliver the same experience that a metro student is getting? So that's one thing. So basically getting the accessibility there. Second is, I'll take an example of YouTube, right? So if you go to a tier 3 or tier 4, in fact a village, right, the YouTube will stream as seamlessly as it would stream in a Bombay or in a Mumbai or maybe a Delhi, right? The reason is because we use the backend infrastructure which has many more points of presence. Now correlate to the education scenario. There is a lot of online learning is happening, right? There is a lot of content being delivered which is video based. Can we use the same technology which maybe a YouTube uses to seamlessly deliver the same content with no buffering, with no dropping of packets, and extremely seamless? So these are the few things that really needs addressal. And usually we have seen that when we conceptualize or look for a tier 2, tier 3 solutions, we usually drop these small nuances that needs to be taken care of. So we are actually, on the helm of it. We understand this because we have done it. And then we actually, extend the same technology to EdTechs like Infinity Learn to build on top of it so that the experience remains the same that a Google search or a Maps or a YouTube can deliver.
Sure, wow, what exciting times.
Point on this,
Gentlemen, thank you so much. You've shared so much insight and lots of real examples of what works, what we can expect to see in the future. On a closing note, if I can understand from each of you, what is sort of the broader goal that Infinity Learn and Google has together to collaborate, again, to provide the best quality, the most cutting edge technology, EdTech solutions out there to the entire nation? How do you see that panning out?
So for us, education over technology means outcomes. If any parent is paying us money, he finally pays us so that his child performs better.
Yes.
In any examination, we are a JEE NEET preparatory examination company, so that the outcomes are captured. In this journey of outcomes, technology has a big role. We are not access only, that okay, every village has Infinity Learn. But even if that village, if anybody is using it, is he benefiting it or not? I think that's what is a bigger ownership on all the EdTechs across the globe, that while we are teaching over technology platforms, are we helping the child to learn?
Yes.
That's the biggest objective, because end of the day we are a learning company.
That's the foundation,
so we have to ensure that the learning happens.
Absolutely, wonderful. Thank you. Vaibhav?
So maybe on the closing, see, Gen AI is an ever evolving technology, right? Today, what I'm speaking, by the time we go on air, maybe things would have changed a lot, right?
True, yes.
So the way we think about it is that how can we fasten the bridge of this adoption of technology, right? Now, if I take an analogy of riding a wave, right? You have a just wave. You can either ride the wave or you can be under the wave to be safe. You can't be on the the falling point of the wave. So the ones who are riding the wave actually are the biggest risk takers, right? Because they are doing something which somebody has not done. They are trying to do something where they know the chances of failures are high. It might be a bit costlier to do it for the other people who are trying to follow, right? But the benefits that they get, right, is something that they are the innovators in the technology domain, right? They are the ones who are pioneers in doing a lot of stuff, and we are glad to find Infinity Learn who actually imbibes that whole the way we want them to go and expand their technological footprint, and taking that risk and adopting the technology, ensuring that the life of a student and a teacher is becoming easier by adopting their solutions, I think is where the crux lies. And that's how we are trying to solve this whole problem, and we'll continue to solve. And these problems will continue to get complicated. We'll continue to keep it solving the way we have been doing till now.
Sure, absolutely. As you say, ever evolving, and who knows, maybe in the coming days, weeks, months, we see big shifts once again. But gentlemen, thank you so much. Such a pleasure to have you here on ET Studios and truly understand from pioneers like yourselves what it means to take a look at the future of education here in India. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for sharing.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. All right, that brings us to the end of this insightful discussion on the EdTech advantage and the transformative role of Google Cloud in education. As we've seen, cloud-powered innovation is not just enhancing learning experiences, but also making education more accessible, scalable, and future-ready. The future of education is being built today, so let's continue to innovate, collaborate, and drive meaningful change. Until next time, keep learning and keep evolving.